Okay, last little tutorial I want to show you how to do just some little shortcuts in Excel that might help you or at least expedite kind of your process. I'm going to get some stuff out of the way. I'm going to just copy it. I'm going to paste that over here so it's not in the way and just show you a couple things. In fact, let's just do this. We'll start a new sheet. So let's say I want to make a list to say 1 through 5, or maybe I want times every 30 seconds. So we'll do like 30, and then we'll do 60, and I could do this for a million years if I wanted to, or the other option is I could kind of have Excel memorize this pattern for me. So if I go up and I highlight this, Excel knows that these are 30 apart, and if I come and right click on the bottom, see how I go from this kind of 3D cross to like a 2D solid cross? If I click that and I drag, it's actually going to count down as far as I want it to go for 80, 510, 540, and voila, it'll put those numbers in there for me. I could do that simpler, like 1s, 2s, 3s. Once I have that pattern, I can just click and drag. It will number things for me as well. That's a nice little trick that it'll do for me. So let's say we have a bunch of these, 5, 10s, etc. And we want to do some math. Let's do a 10, then a 20. Now the other thing that Excel can do for me, let's say these are distances. Maybe this is a time right there. Okay. So distance 1, distance 2, distance 3. Maybe we want the hypothetical total distance, right? So how would I add these up? Well, I could actually have Excel do that for me. Anytime we type an equals at the start of our cell, we're telling Excel that we wanted to do some sort of math problem for us, okay? And so equals, and I'm going to go in parentheses, and I'm going to say, you know what? I want to add my distance 1, my distance 2, my distance 3. So I'm going to have it grab that E4 box. So I'm up here, it shows up E4 because it's saying you picked this box that lines up with E4. And I want to add that to the next box, which is F4. And I want to add that to the next box, which is G4. And I'm going to end parentheses. Now, if you wanted to, you could type in, instead of clicking on the boxes, you could type in equals 1 plus 5 plus 10, and it would still give you 16. But here's why this is better. So I hit enter on that, right? Okay. Now, if I come up here and do that same little column trick, where I come down to the bottom right and I click and I drag, it's going to do the adding of every respective row down below. In other words, 32 is a sum of this plus that plus this. 48 is a sum of this, that, and the other. 304 is a sum of this, that, and the other. So a really nice way to, rather than do all this in my calculator and type it in, I can go ahead and I can have Excel do that for me. And another thing that's really, really nice about this is maybe I graphed a bunch of this stuff. Then after I graphed it, I realized, wait a minute, this data isn't right. It's supposed to be 70. I come in here and I change it there, it's going to automatically change it there, and then it would automatically change it on my graph. So it's really going to save me a lot of time in terms of if I goof up or make a mistake, Excel can correct those mistakes by me just changing 1 or 2 numbers instead of changing the whole universe. Okay? It can also do complex math, like for example, maybe I want the speed or the average speed. So speed is distance divided by time. So we'll make a speed category here. Well, I'm going to go equals, okay? And so I want my distances right here, total distance, divided by my total time. That's right there. And now I have a speed. And again, I can come down here and drag, and now I've calculated 20 or so different speeds, okay, that seem to work out. Is that right? Did that do that right? Oh, I guess it did because we're up incrementally. So if I change this to say 30, again, look, that match automatically changes. Maybe this becomes 195. That's going to automatically change that. So I have those values. And of course, we know how to come back in here and make these look pretty. I can highlight all these and I can say, okay, let's format. We'll start by making all these centered left and right and centered up and down, right? Hit OK there. We can also put grids around these to make them look kind of pretty. Maybe I want this to be in a grid. We can take this guy and move it over so it's nice and close. And we'll bring these guys together just by dragging them over so they're right next to each other. And we can highlight that, hold Control, highlight that, and put all those in a grid, all borders there. And now those look even prettier. Other things we can do, we can mess with the sig figs, right? Maybe I want these to only go to 2 decimal places, so I can go and I can format the cell and tell them to, from a number standpoint, just give me 1 decimal place, or let's do 3 decimal places.